来ねえな。これはなかなか心配になるね。さすがに来る前に始めるのは難しいわな。来ねえな。こういうトラブルも最初に潰しておかないとね。 マジかよ。Amen. Amen. なぜ来ない？来ねえ。そう。Okay, thank you for watching the interview time of DevRel Asia 2020. I'm mainly organizer at Chief at Moongift. So, and in this time, we got one guest named Vaibhavi, work at Gojek from Singapore. So I invite her to here. Okay. Hi, welcome, Vaibhavi. Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Atsushi. Thanks for invitation. Thanks for having me here. It's great to be in this conference where we are all meeting virtually to discuss about everything related to DevRel.
Thank you. And are you living in Singapore, right?
I'm based at Singapore.
Okay.
And you can also call me VB if Vaibhavi is too complicated of a names.
Sorry. Okay, Bibi. Yeah. Okay. So first, please introduce yourself about your career or your community, right?
Sure, sure. So I have been associated with the field of developer relations or the communities for about, I would say, a decade, almost a decade. I was volunteering in communities first while I was at my college. Then I started a lot of communities within my campus, within my city, and led a lot of Google's community, Google developer groups, women tech makers, as like a working professional. Um, After that, I went into join the Google in Bangalore and Singapore offices. So I spent some time in India and Southeast Asia working as a part of the developer relations team and working on programs focusing on students to professionals to entrepreneurs and touching base with various Google's developer technologies. Right now, I work at Gojek as the program manager. Gojek is Indonesia's first unicorn startup. It's a super app, and I scale and run programs again internally. So the cycle of a developer relations program, as you say, that you want to connect with the audience, engage, then advocate and then have them adopt the things, it's the same cycle that I have been following in all the programs that I run. So that's a bit about me. Over to you, Atsushi.
Okay, so it's very nice career. So I think I you said the Gojek provide to the super app, right? It's mean
Yes.
something programs run on your app, right?
So super app means that you have multiple products which can make your life, day to day life, easy, all into one application. So that's why it's called a
Mm.
super app. So Gojek has about 25 products, 20 to 25 products
Mm-hmm.
integrated as one app in Indonesia and some of the Southeast Asia markets.
Okay, great. Thank you. And you said you worked at Google for a diversity program. So I want to know what is different uh, about diversity for Google, like enterprise companies, or Gojek, like startup.
Right. It's an interesting question. Had an amazing time working and leading diversity programs at Google. So I kind of laid out the strategy for women tech makers community for Southeast Asia, and we revamped the program and kind of scaled it 350 percentage year on year growth. So
Mm,
and in Gojek, I'm designing a diversity, equity, inclusion program right now to educate our employees around this topic.
mm,
So both of my work are very different in the sense that I was leading external programs at Google, whereas I'm designing internal programs at Gojek.
mhm,
In terms of difference, uh, the topic is pretty much same. It's all about how you see diversity, equity, and inclusion. In Google, we had a lot of definitions set up. We had a lot of examples to lead from,
mhm,
and a lot of other teams kind of inspired the kind of work I do.
mm,
Whereas Gojek is a new organization as compared to Google, it's a startup. So
mm,
this is a time where like the leadership and the company is becoming more and more aware
mhm,
about diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it kind of feels that everyone is trying to achieve the same in anything and everything that we do, whether it is our products, whether it's our recruitment process, whether it's about working with teams into collaboration. So it
mm,
feels pretty much like in the momentum.
mm,
So as I said, it's difficult to say the difference, but definitely in both ways, there's a lot of examples to learn from, and a lot of teams before me have done good work. So
mm,
that's the thing. There is one thing though, which is more of the markets that both the companies address to. So Google has a
mm,
global market. So you
mm,
have to see the diversity from a global point of view,
mm,
and when you see the global point of view, there you have to compare Southeast Asia versus LATAM, India versus the EMEA market, Europe market, right? Whereas
mm,
in Gojek, we have to look at the lens from a Southeast Asia market. So it's more
mm.
of a local perspective that we need, and we need to dive deeper into that.
I see. So, but I think like Europeans, Americans, Asians have completely different focus in diversities, right? So currently, Americans have a problem of like a black or white, and European have another problem here historically, and but the Asians have different culture or social and educations. So you have to consider about that or take care about that, right?
Definitely, definitely. We
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of cultural and socio-economic backgrounds from
Mm-hmm.
where the various groups in Asia come from. So it's
Mm-hmm.
altogether a different problem to address, to understand all of these diverse groups and how do we make in harmony that they all come together to
Mm-hmm.
work as one Asian or one Southeast Asian group.
Mm. Cool. I see. So, second topic is your talk. I will show the title. Title is Building Diversity, Equality, and Inclusive Communities. Oh, that's very interesting topics for me. And please explain about abstract or summary of your talk.
Sure. So, as I said, I've spent a good time designing programs around
Mm,
diversity, equity, and inclusion. And what I have realized is this is not one person's job. For
mm,
this, you have to get the whole mass together to bring in this change.
mm,
As Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see in the world. So it's something that you have to incorporate within yourselves. And
mm,
now when I connect this understanding or observation with the developer relations and the communities, I
mm,
feel that we have a great opportunity to make an impact at scale through our communities, because all the communities are one to few to many model or one to many model. So there
mm,
is, let's say there are 10 communities in India who would be reaching out to 10,000 people, right?
mm,
So
mm,
when you connect these things, there is kind of a great opportunity
mm,
to just influence a few people, and through influencing few people you can influence the masses. So what I
mm,
wish to talk about is what are small changes that
mm,
we as people who are running the communities,
mm,
from an organization like Google, or the
mm,
people who are leading the communities as the voluntarily community organizers can
mm,
bring in to basically become more diverse, inclusive, and someone who kind of provides equal opportunity. We've seen a lot of things changing the way a community changes, because most of the tech communities are perceived as a benchmark on how people meet, how people network, how people
mhm,
collaborate. People look up to them, right? So I'm going to be talking about not, I would not say changes, but some enhancements that
mhm,
are not too difficult to make.
mhm,
It could be in the way we communicate, it could be the way we operate, it could be the way we put up a social media strategy, right? So what are
mm,
some ways which the communities can learn to become more diverse and inclusive? That's what I'm going to talk about. So I'll
mm,
probably divide it into like 5 or 10 points,
mhm,
and that is what. So initially I will focus a bit on what is diversity, equity, and inclusion, how we can impact the masses, and then give a takeaway of the 5 or the 10 points which you can do as at your own personal capacity to bring this change.
mm,
And as an action item out of this talk, I'll basically ask everyone to pick up any one or two things that they can bring in the change. And
mm.
probably, if there's a possibility to take a poll or vote, we could just see which one people prefer the most to basically change within themselves.
I see. And sorry, I have no ideas about the diversity of Southeast Asia right now. So I want to get the knowledge of those diversity at our conference. So I have some questions. Uh, what do you think about uh, like country or territories involved to making good communication. Like India and Singapore is very cross country, but it's another other countries, right? It's so. Do you think it makes problem or barriers for communicate to each others?
Let me understand the question better. Are you saying that what are some communication barriers between countries?
Yes, or I think Indonesia have so many islands, right? So it's difficult to communicate in real time or real place. So they have to use online communication tools, right? So it's a make a problem or it's difficult to communicate each others, right? What do you think about that?
So the communication challenges, like I'm just assuming you are asking about like how do different countries progress further by having so much diversity and so much diversity of language, culture, and all. So I think communication has been a challenge in past and in today's world as well,
Mm.
especially the countries like India, which has like 1643 languages across
Oh.
the country. The countries like Indonesia, which has
Mm.
like 50 or 100 versions of their own Javanese language as well.
Mm.
So the diversity has been there. But what I feel is that we should learn to take the best out of all somehow.
Mm.
One way to think about it is that, just a minute. One way to think about it is that how can we make sure that we provide a space for
Mm.
people to communicate in their local languages. So
Mm.
diversity doesn't mean streamlining and everyone speaking in English. But diversity and
Mm.
inclusion means that anyone who is speaking any language, their voice is heard and
Mm.
they feel confident to raise their opinion or to provide their input in anything that we are working on. So I
Mm.
would say basically hear all the voices that
Mm.
that is possible, and then there are always people who would translate or interpret a lot of things for everyone who cannot understand, right?
Mm.
So as long as any, whether it is a company or a conference or anything, as long as they have a way of hearing the diverse voices and
Mm.
then bringing all of them together,
Mm.
that should help achieve the ultimate vision of any program or anything that we are running.
I see. Thank you.
we,
And
we
yeah.
the same note I was saying, we also see a lot of tutorials and talks coming up in vernacular languages, right? So that is a way to achieve the outcome. Let's say I want to do outreach of people using Google's cloud platform, then
Mm.
I go to Sri Lanka and there are 5 YouTube channel doing the same, so that
Mm.
serves my purpose. So rather than me creating an English YouTube channel and
Mm.
then trying to market it in Sri Lanka, how about if I just support the person or
Mm.
someone who's doing that in Sinhala, right? So that's
Mm.
the way I feel.
Okay. Uh, do you have time to more one question? Can I?
Sure,
Oh.
sure.
Uh, what do you think about how can DevRel help the diversities to solutions like resolve the problem?
Um, does it, let me understand the
Oh,
question.
sorry. Uh,
So is it like how can DevRel um,
so,
address diversity or make the programs diverse?
oh, sorry. How does DevRel resolve the problem of diversity?
Okay, so DevRel as a group, how do we come up with programs on diversity?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So first thing that we need to understand is what diversity means, and the diversity not only means gender, male and female. So that's
Mm.
one thing to
Yeah.
understand. So there are some perceptions or mindsets change that we need to bring.
Mm.
So one way to look at it is wherever the program is being run, what are the different groups to which we are touching, basically,
Mm.
right? So if it is run in, let's say, Indonesia or India, you would say
Mm.
what are the tier 1 cities, what are the tier 2
Mm.
cities, what are the tier 3 and 4 cities. That's a different way of looking at it, right? So what
Mm.
are the different groups to which we need to address our program to? And
Mm.
that doesn't mean you have to have a program for everyone, but that
Mm.
means that you need to have a strategy for everyone. That okay,
Mm.
our target is tier 1 cities.
Mm.
This kind of workshop, tutorials, or boot camps is we will do in the tier 1 cities. Tier 2 cities we cannot reach out, but this is how we will make the information available and accessible in case
Mm.
if they want to do it. So
Mm.
diversity doesn't mean building for all, but diversity means making sure that everyone has the access in one or other form. So
Mm.
again, it depends on the groups that you are focusing. Sometime, let's say you want to teach a technology, let's say you want to teach machine learning using the TensorFlow, right? Then you will see what are the different groups of people who are going to learn machine learning. So the diversity of group, one way it would be like, okay, I'm teaching to machine learning to people who are super techies, teaching to machine learning people who are policymakers, teaching the machine learning to people who are enthusiasts, right? So diversity means understanding each of those groups and then making sure that you have the content and the approach to address all of them. So that's where DevRel and diversity would kind of intersect.
I see. So we like involved to develop persons. We have to get knowledge of bunch of technology like AI, machine learning, IoT, Java, or anything. So we have to learn about anything about that.
Exactly.
I see. For connected people and the community, right?
Yes, exactly.
I see. Thank you, Bibi. So our conference is will be hold on the November 14th,
Mhm.
and I'm very excited. I can't wait to your sessions. So I hope you will enjoy the conference too. So uh, I watch it or watching in this video or live stream. You Our conference is completely free, so please join the conference and please enjoy Bibi's session. Thank you so much, and see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.